Salute, MobTube. What happened there? Did the intro get screwed up? I don't know what happened. It froze on me. I was just taking my Bluetooth out. I got Tony Ducks here. Now, what we were going to do originally is Tony Ducks was going to be on the show, of course. But we had an issue with a delay. It was a real pain in the ass. We couldn't seem to fix it. We were working on it for about 15 minutes. So, no intro, Miss Can't Be Wrong. All right, well, it is what it is. I tried. Um, as long as you guys can hear me and see me now, it's all good. Rather than doing a bunch of shout outs and stuff, I'm just going to get started and talk to Tony Ducks about his story. I think you guys will all be interested. You all know him from the chat and stuff, and we've been talking about doing this for a while. I'm interested in hearing his story, and I think you will be too. Tony Ducks.
What's up, brother?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good. Yourself?
Not bad. I'm sorry it didn't work out, man, with you coming on screen and all that.
Yeah, we were going back and forth. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all good.
We'll get it right.
Yeah, someday. So listen, bro, if you wanted to share your story with us today, you want to start out by telling us kind of how you first started experimenting with drugs?
So, when I was younger, I never really got into smoking weed on a regular basis. I bet I smoked weed under maybe less than 15 times. It wasn't my thing. I didn't like it. Cocaine, never did cocaine, not one time. Wasn't my thing.
Wish I could say that.
I drank. Not to excess, but going out a lot to bars, clubs. As a younger kid guy, and then eventually, basically, where the story would really start is I started taking Percocets.
Okay.
Perc 10s, Perc 5s. It really kind of started with a tooth.
Oh.
The first time that I ever took having a toothache, going to the dentist, and they gave me a small script, taking like one or two of them, and liking it, obviously.
Yeah.
And then slowly after that, it just really progressed. It wasn't maybe the first year or so. It wasn't like an issue or like everyday usage. It wasn't that yet for about maybe the first year or so. And then this is around 2006, 2007. And right around that time is when most people know them as Roxy's, Roxycodone 30 milligrams.
Yeah.
Started coming around more and more and more. And so I would take a half of one of those. And then, again, just built it up more and more. The tolerance gets, your tolerance gets bigger, like with any other drug. And the next thing you know, you're taking a lot more. And next thing you know, you got a problem.
What would you say, bro? Like when did you, like, how did it feel the first time you really took like a larger dose and you realized that you loved this shit? I've heard people describe it, and I'm asking because I never did that. But I've heard people describe it as like a warm blanket over your body, like everything goes away.
Yeah, you definitely, at least me personally, I felt like you get like a whole warming sensation over your body, tingling a little bit. This is, again, me personally, tingling, and you feel like you're Superman, truthfully, you know?
That's what I always heard.
Yeah, like you could do anything.
When did it get to the point for you, like, was there at all a point where you, hold on, let me see something. Who is that? Oh, this guy is. Hold on. There's a guy in the chat threatening people as Joe Biden. Hold on, bro. Wait a minute.
They got the president.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Let me see. Michael Hensley. How dare you threaten Michael? Strike this guy 45 times. Block him, I mean. My bad. Sorry, Biden. You got to go. Jerk off. So was there a point where you started to go through withdrawal, like after just a short period of time without having these pills?
It happens really quick, where taking them for, consistently over, say, a couple of weeks, maybe even less for some people. I've heard people say 2-3 days and they don't feel right.
Yeah.
I've heard other people say they could go, a month with taking them here and there. Myself, I would say it was probably probably a couple of, like, maybe 2 or 3 months of taking them a couple of times a week, to where it got to the point that one day I didn't feel right, and I knew it had to be that. I was sick, and not like full-blown withdrawal or anything like that, but I knew right away that was the issue.
So did you take a pill or two and then feel better right away, and then you knew?
Yes. Yeah, that was like, because like I said, I knew even before I took the pill that was the issue. I would say prior to that, I mean, like I said, I would take, say, Saturday and Sunday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, take them, then not take them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You start taking that extra day every week, every other week, whatever it is, to where you started off taking them once a week, and you end up now you're taking them 4 times a week and every day of the week.
Was there ever a time that you didn't have them and you were desperate?
In the very beginning, there might have been a few times where there definitely was a few times where I didn't have them, like, right there, ready access to them, right there in front of my face on me. And I had to go out, search, grab them, but that day right away, knowing that things are going to get worse if I don't.
Yeah.
But then as things progressed, I was selling quite a few of them.
Yeah.
I was getting like a couple thousand every week or so.
Just a couple thousand?
Yeah.
That's a fucking lot of pills, bro.
Yeah, it was. Again, I cultivated. It didn't start at 2,000. It started at finding people that were willing to sell their scripts, and buying them, and find one person, 2, 3, 4, and then ended up, maybe I should stray from saying that, but ended up growing and making some connections to where I was able to get that many, on a regular basis. And it all had to do with where they were coming from. Was at this time was Florida pill mills.
Yeah, like a lot of people were doing.
Yeah, it was huge back then. Like, I'm talking right around maybe late 2008, 2009, 2010. It was, I know the guy that I was dealing with, he had over 100 people going to a doctor, or different doctors down there at these pill mills.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so it was, guess, a big operation for them.
So yeah, so you were to the point where you never ran out, which I think. Don't you think that's even worse? That's more dangerous than if you just have an addiction you can't afford because it's limitless.
Oh, it's way worse. It's way worse because you don't ever, at least in my opinion, in my experience, you, especially when I got to that point, there's never a time where I was sick for so long. You're not running out of money. You're not running out of the pills. They're always there. So you almost don't you don't feel that you have a problem.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because now it turned into part of my routine, you know? And once it got worse and worse and worse, I would say at my worst, I was probably taking between 30, 35, sometimes maybe 40 a day.
Jesus Christ. Wow, bro.
Yeah, I would wake up in the morning, take 5 or 6 at one shot.
30s?
So 30s. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I never sniffed them. It was just not my thing. I never liked that. It wasn't. I don't know. I just never did.
Wow.
I always just swallowed them. But again, my tolerance went up to that. It wasn't like I said, like I started like that. I think the first time that I even took a whole one, I got sick because that'll happen to some people sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But
Jesus Christ.
yeah,
So how the fuck?
By the time I was like going full force to where it was, I was probably taking 5 or 6 at a time, 6 or 7 times a day.
Jesus Christ. That's unbelievable. You gotta wonder how you're still alive.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, like I said, when you build it, I guess maybe to that, when it slowly goes up, your body gets used to it more and more and more and more. So you mean as far as like overdosing or something?
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as the tolerance, that builds up as you go, but that just seems like an unbelievable amount. You know what I mean? Like if you tried, if God forbid you tried to do 5 of them today, you'd probably overdose because you don't have the tolerance anymore.
Yeah, without a doubt, I would imagine. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Or I would be in bad shape for sure. Yeah.
Now, were you, if you don't mind me asking, were you in any kind of relationship then?
Yeah.
So was it affecting your relationship or your family relationships or anything?
Again, because I had financially, it wasn't a strain on me, so it didn't really affect that. Even the girl who I was with at the time, she would take them here and there, but not to the extent I was doing them. And she didn't know the extent I was doing them either, I would say. She might have had she might have knew a little, but I think she kind of just didn't want to believe it, or I don't know. I can't really necessarily speak for her on that. But she knew. I know she knew for sure. But again, it didn't affect it because having money to support the habit is a big thing. It's a big thing because the times where you end up getting into arguments with people is because I got cousins and all kinds of friends and family that were in this position but not making money like I was making. So, they would steal from a family member, so it would put strain on that relationship with the certain family member for them stealing from them. Or if, like right now, Thanksgiving time, perfect example. You don't want to go to a holiday if you don't have what you're fixed.
Oh yeah.
So that would be something like I saw other people do, family members, friends. But for me, again, because of the position I was in, it didn't really affect me like that.
Yeah, because people who are watching who don't know, they probably think that taking that many, that you got to be high as fuck and it's noticeable. But the truth of the matter is, anytime you're that addicted to anything, it doesn't make you high anymore. It just makes you normal.
Yeah, same thing like with you with the cocaine.
Yep.
It's very similar where you could sniff yourself silly and it doesn't have that same effect as if some, the recreational, to say, user
Yep.
who does it and their jaw is jumping and
Yeah. Even like alcohol, there's a famous line, I guess you'd say famous, in my mind it is, that stupid movie Kingpin, that comedy with Woody Harrelson, where
yeah,
the guy says to him, he's in the bathroom throwing up, and the guy says to him, what are you drinking again, or something like that, and he said, I don't get sick when I drink, I get sick when I don't. And that's the truth with alcohol too. Like, you get to the point with alcohol where the only time anybody's going to notice anything is wrong is when you don't have it. When you do have it, most likely you're just going to be normal, but if you don't, you're going to be sick as a motherfucker. So people they're going to take notice easier.
yes, 100%.
Yeah. So how do I put this? What level did you get to as far as the dealing?
What level?
Yeah, I mean, were you started out with a couple of thousand? Did it go much further?
It went a little further. It was like right around 4,000 was the number.
Jesus Christ.
That I was getting like on a regular basis every week, or maybe 10 days, sometimes every 2 weeks, twice a month, whatever it was, like that type of schedule, whatever, you know how that goes.
You never felt like when you felt normal, you never felt like pushing it and trying to, like, were you always chasing a high? So you would take more and more every day?
I would say for sure. Yeah. That's probably, you get used to it. So after taking them for a little bit, you say, you remember that time you go from taking one perk 5 milligram to taking 30 milligrams, and you're not getting the same high as you did that first time you took the perk 5.
Yeah.
So it's like, and you're trying to, and that's why you're taking that many.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I would feel it, but it was never that same thing that made me really love them, in the first place.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. So where did you go from there? Once you were really, really hooked, did you get to a point of just where everything was coming to an end and you knew you had to stop?
Not really, because it basically all came crashing down when DEA got me and grabbed me, and I knew I had, some heat on me, and that's when but prior to that, I really wasn't even thinking in my head, like, I need to stop, because again, I didn't believe that I had a problem.
Yeah.
But eventually, once things went bad, and there was a rat on the case who somewhat set me up. He basically let DEA know everything I was doing and what was going on, and essentially, once they picked me up, I got no bail, so I was sitting in a federal holding cell, going through withdrawal.
Jesus. So you hit your rock bottom with dealing and using at the same time,
Everything.
basically.
Everything all at once.
Did you tell them in there that you're addicted, that you're highly addicted to these opioids?
They knew. I didn't come out and say it, but they knew because they, in their dirty ways of trying to get you to flip and turn. They're telling you, look, you could, sign this paperwork and you could be up out of here tonight and you'll be good. But that wasn't in my nature back then, to do anything like that.
Well,
So
that's what they do too. Like they rely on people with addiction to flip. They figure that you won't be able to take the withdrawal and you'll just flip.
and in this case, when it's kind of a real long story, but I'll get at my case. But basically, they had taken about $85,000 from me.
Yeah.
And when I was in one of the times that they, brought me in to talk to me, they put one of the first times, they put the money on the table, the $85,000, and they said, "Look, you could walk out of here right now with that money and just agree and sign the paperwork." Like they make you sign paperwork of an intent that you're gonna work with them or whatever it is. So they told me sign here, and you can walk out of here today, right now, with all that money, and which was money they took from me, all the money, and you'll be good to go. We'll just be in touch. And I just said no, got no bail, sat there for about September, October, 8 months or so before getting sentenced. And
wow,
that was really it.
That's crazy, bro. So you got clean in jail.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And and I'm fighting it. I'm fighting a case at the time. So
Yeah.
that's my mind isn't exactly where it should be because I'm going through it, day after day after day for maybe a solid 3 weeks of it being rough, where you got, the chills.
Yeah.
Every detox feeling that you would get from any type of opiate.
Was it severe? I mean, were you like most people picture dope sickness? Were you that bad?
Yeah.
For how long you think?
Like I said, it was bad. It was probably about 3 weeks of hell.
At its worst?
At its worst.
Jesus, 3 fucking weeks.
The next couple of months weren't great. I was still weak, not feeling good, just tired. Your brain chemistry is off, so that puts you out of pocket. I'm fighting a case at the time, so I'm sitting with my lawyers, and they're trying to explain stuff, and you don't want to hear it. Anybody who's been through opiate withdrawal knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear nothing, talk to nobody, do none of that. But it was probably like all said and done, a solid 3 months of rough before I started to feel my old self again, I would say.
Yeah. It's amazing, man. So how did it feel? How did it feel to finally be free of it?
Great. Great. Truthfully, I don't know any other way to explain it. It was great. I didn't think, it was bittersweet because of the way it happened. you know, yeah, I was done with that, but now I'm looking at 20 years, you know. So it was like no time to really celebrate. Just had to keep trucking, keep trucking, keep trucking. But it did feel really good inside after, because there was many times throughout, you know, my addiction, that I felt like, damn, I need to, I got to do something. What should I, you know? But again, the money, the pills, they trump it every time.
Yeah, of course.
You know? Maybe it would have been a little different if I didn't have money, like, you know, money to be comfortable and have the pills, the access to the pills that I had. Maybe it would have been different. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
so it's weird in a way. You entered one prison and exited another.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Like because that's true. Like you're in prison when you're addicted to anything. You're trapped.
Yep.
You know, it's crazy, man. It's a hell of a story, bro.
Sure.
So how do you feel? How do you feel now? You've been clean how long?
So September of 2011.
Okay.
So that's when I got picked up. That was the last time that I did anything. Was actually in particular that day, September 13th of 2011. It was. So
Okay.
I'm not like a big I'm not like a big celebrate.
Yeah. You don't count every day and all that.
I'm proud of it for sure, because I could have, you know, inside you could get all that same shit basically.
Yeah.
You know, if you really want to, you could start doing that.
Yeah.
And I could have, before I even went away, I'm glad that I never turned to heroin or anything like that. I don't know. It was probably had to do with the access that I had to the pills that made it, my money, because I know a lot of people will go to heroin once they start saying the pills are getting more and more expensive. You could buy this for much cheaper, and it does the same thing. And luckily, I never went down that road. So
that's commendable too. In prison, most people would feel hopeless and be like, "Fuck this, I'm getting high."
Yeah, once I think I said it in the chat a while back. Once I actually was sentenced and I got to the first place I went to, or not the first, but like the second after I was classified and everything, I put on like maybe 40-ish pounds, 48 pounds, just from working out, being in like constant push-ups, sit-ups, constant,
Yeah. So, do you get cravings at all anymore?
No, I have to. If I was around it, maybe.
Yeah.
But they're not around. Like, I'm not around it, so I don't like. It's different when you got out, like with, when you're around alcohol. Alcohol is, it's everywhere. You go to a restaurant, it's in your face, But with these,
you can remove yourself.
Like that.
Yeah, you can remove yourself from being around them, from the situation.
Yeah. And now I would never even think of doing one, just based on them they're all pressed and they're putting fentanyl in them. Back at the time when this, like I said, when I was throughout my addiction, it was all legitimate pills from pharmacies. because like I said, they had these pill mills down in Florida, and they had over 100 guys going to different doctors, getting 180 pills a person. So it was all legitimate. No, none of these pressed with fentanyl. That, from what I understand, that didn't really become. Those didn't really start popping up till some years later.
Yeah.
After I went away.
Yeah. Now you'd have to be a fucking a madman to actually try one of these, unless you get a prescription, and even then, you'd never want to fall back into it. But to get it off the street or something,
Yeah.
it'd have to be nuts. So, are you clean and sober completely? Do you do anything?
I'll drink, but not on a regular basis. Like I will, maybe at a holiday, I'll have maybe either a beer or a glass of wine, or when I take my girl out, we'll have again like a glass of wine. But it's not. I wouldn't even say a couple times a month, twice a month, something like that. At the most.
Yeah. So but you never had a problem with it. It was never your drug of choice or anything.
Yeah. No. Like I said, when I was young, going out, but that was just like anybody young going out to clubs, bars. You drank.
Yeah.
If you drank, that would was what it would be.
What if you ever found yourself having an issue with alcohol? What would you do?
You mean like heavily addicted to?
Yeah. Yeah, like if you say you drank, 3-4 days in a row, something like that, and then you started to feel like some sort of withdrawal symptoms, which probably wouldn't happen for someone who was never addicted to it. But I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, would you go and get help right away?
You mean like right now after, because I went through it with the pills?
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably would do. I would address it immediately. I would definitely say, wait a second, something's up. I got to address this. Whether I don't know what I would do. Address it somehow.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. That's good, bro. I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Do you want to take any questions from people?
Yeah, sure. If anybody's got anything, I will.
Yeah, ask some questions, guys. See what Tony has to say. Let me see here. I was prescribed Percocet because I was allergic to codeine and Tylenol 3. Really? Wow. Jesus Christ. I feel like they look for any way possible to prescribe this shit. I really do, man.
Well, I know back again that during this time frame I'm talking about, even where I live, there's pain management centers, and you could get into them pretty quick from have a primary care physician give you a recommendation. You go to them maybe 2-3 times. They do some x-rays, a bunch of little tests, this, that, and then you can walk out after maybe going there 2-3 months with a script. Now, from what I understand, they've tightened it up quite a bit, where they capped the number of people that they could take. Before it was like almost free reign. They could have however many people just coming through the doors, getting them. But now, different.
Yeah,
for sure.
Let me see. I think this question is for you. Everybody's talking to each other, so I'm not sure. But Albaz said, "What do you use for pain?"
Tylenol or Advil. Advil, I would say mainly. Even if I was in the hospital back in May, and I only let them give me Motrin 800.
Yeah.
Except for during the surgery, because they won't let you not take it.
Yeah.
So they give you, I don't know what it was, if it was morphine or fentanyl, whatever it was.
For mine, it was
it.
fentanyl they gave me, and a lot of it, I think.
Yeah, so that might have been it. So in that case, because they don't give you the choice, you can't tell them no when you're actually doing the surgery. From what I understand, because like I tried to, and they said no, you have to. But after, once you're done, they say, if you don't want to take the pain meds, you don't have to.
Yeah. I mean, there's really no choice, that you wouldn't be able to handle it without something, during the surgery at least. Yeah. Somebody said, look at this. Anthony H said they're prescribing crack addicts Suboxone now to make their money. It's sad. They have legit legal drug mills all over the place. Have you heard of that? They're giving Suboxone to crack addicts?
I have not heard of that, giving it to crack addicts. No, I don't know what it would help them. I thought it was specific to opiates and blocking the opiate receptors and stuff.
It absolutely is only effective with opiates. I think maybe it's just the way, if they're really doing that, of saying, here's one drug for another. This one we can make money off of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now, like with Suboxone, you have to go to a special course, at least here in Connecticut. You have to go through a special, I don't know if it's whatever they call it, a program, a course, something like that. Get certified, and they only allow certain amounts of people to prescribe it. And I think like every year they add another however many people on, but it's pretty tightly regulated from what I understand.
Yeah, it is. Anthony H said, I work in the field, bro. They're offering to any addicts. That's crazy, man. But yeah, I guess I can't be too surprised.
That is pretty, I mean, that's, if it helps, I mean, then I guess they should.
If when I was in rehab, they would have said, because in rehab, even like you said, tightly regulated, I knew people in rehab, like just to get prescribed Suboxone, like you need a special doctor just for that. Like, I don't even think just any doctor could do it, right?
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Not any doctor can prescribe it. You can't go to just any old doctor, like probably not your primary care, unless they went and got the course done and all that.
Yeah, my bad if I'm
doctor could.
Yeah, my bad if I missed when you said that. Sometimes I drift off in the comments. Yeah, it's hard, bro. But yeah, it's fucked up, man. If they told me when I was detoxing from alcohol and I was in rehab for cocaine, if they would have said, we're going to start you on Suboxone, I would have said, no, you're not. You're really not. Fuck that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No way.
Yeah, because it is a substitute. I don't anybody, if you're going to use it, in my opinion, it should be used short term. That's from everything I've ever heard and spoke to. I know somebody that works at a detox rehab facility, and they say all of those Suboxone, Subutex, Methadone, they all should be used only short term. Methadone is used for long term, but it should not be.
Yeah. No. Yeah, my feelings on that. The people that are on it for fucking years and years and years. I mean.
Yeah, especially with the methadone. Yeah, even Suboxone.
Yeah.
I've heard of people being on it for a long time.
Yeah.
Years, like you said, years and years.
It's crazy, man. I guess I think people take advantage. I'll be honest. It's like they just want to keep doing it. They want to keep taking it. It's like they don't want to let go, And I'm not anyone to judge anybody. I've never had any kind of opiate or opioid addiction. I don't know, but it just seems like me personally, I just want to be free of everything. I'm pissed off that I'm still addicted to these fucking cigarettes. You know what I mean?
And that's that's probably one of the hardest things they say to stop. You know, smoking.
Yeah, I know.
Nicotine gets you.
It's a fucking lifestyle, bro.
Sure.
Yeah. Anthony H said
Yeah,
they use a
sure.
benzo taper for alcohol withdrawal. Yeah, they always did. Absolutely. Yeah. They usually it's Librium to start off with. They might give you something after that too, but Librium they'll only give you usually like 3 to 7 days tops. But that's a benzo, and yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's great, man. Listen, bro, I appreciate you coming on. You want to hang out? I'll bring somebody. Robert B, I think wants to. Oh, he can't. Shit. Now Robert B can't come on. I'll drop the link if anybody wants to join. You want to hang out or you want to go?
No, I'm good. Yeah, I'm cool. I can hang for a bit.
Sweet, good. Maybe some people have some more questions for you too. This is all educational to me, man. You know, because I still, even after all these shows, listen, man. It's like I say to people when I was heavily addicted to alcohol, I would tell them, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You like people would get mad at me and say, you don't need a drink, you just want one. You know, and they don't fucking understand because they never felt the withdrawal. And they don't understand. A lot of people don't have the knowledge that you'll die. Somebody will die from alcohol withdrawal. You know, so
Yeah.
it's like it's the same thing with me though, with like these opiates and shit. I don't have the knowledge that you guys do, you guys who use them, you know. So to hear from you guys, it means a lot to me because I learn shit. I'm very curious about these things, you know, because drugs and alcohol have had such a fucking major impact on my life, and I like to hear other people's stories and stuff. And bro, I want to tell you, you're holding 93 people right now, which, as you know, for an addiction and recovery show, that's damn good. And
I'm not holding anything. It's your show. You're holding.
No, bro, they're here to hear your story. If I was talking, I'd have 11 people watching right now.
I've never seen you with 11.
That's how most of YouTube would. Yeah, that's how most of YouTube would like to see me, but no, it hasn't happened yet. No, but everybody's loving your story, man, and we're doing good here. Let's see. Duck sounds younger than his photo. LOL. That's funny.
That would be because I am a little younger.
Yeah, you certainly.
Than that photo.
You certainly are. You've been, you know, it's incredible that you've gone through all this since the commission trial.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yep.
Whatever gives someone a better quality of life, you know. Yeah, true. That's why I don't judge anymore really with the methadone or Suboxone, because if you got to trade one for the other, it's a good trade. You know, it's just like you always think from your perspective, and from my perspective, it's like I wasn't happy until I was off of everything, you know. But I was able to do that, you know. I told you before, like I say this on every addiction and recovery show. I never had that mental addiction. I never loved drinking. I just used it as a tool and then became addicted to it. So as soon as I was detoxed, I was good. You know, like I'll tell you the truth though, and I say this all the time too. Like a lot of times, man, when I walk in, the convenience store by my house, or I pass a liquor store or whatever, I freeze up for a minute and say, Jesus Christ, that looks fucking good. Because now, they didn't used to sell alcohol and liquor and shit in the convenience stores around here. You had to go to a package store, a liquor store, or a beer distributor. Now it's everywhere. It's in the fucking gas stations. So I'll walk in there and see this shit and be like, oh, it looks so goddamn delicious, but I don't slip. I don't make that mistake. Jesse James said we need to shut down these methadone clinics or limit the amounts of visits.
The thing with like a methadone and a Suboxone is you need it. It's a maintenance program. It's a daily and it helps. It really helps people. But there's a lot of people that do abuse it. That's I've heard all too often where people sell the methadone or they sell the Suboxone, and there's only when a doctor prescribes Suboxone, they can only prescribe it to a certain amount of people. too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're only allowed, at least, again, I'm speaking in Connecticut. I know that's how Connecticut is. I don't know if it's different anywhere else or the same. But they can only prescribe to a certain number. Each doctor gets a X amount of people. As they're told you could give it to this many people.
Yeah.
So when you have somebody that comes in, gets them, and wants to sell them because they're still abusing, say, heroin or pills, you're hurting somebody else who may come in and it may save their life.
Yeah.
At least I feel that way. I mean, looking at it,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, they, and do they test you like when I was prescribed Ativan, for example, every once in a while I'd have to go into the office. They'd refill it so many times, but then I'd have to go to the office and they would do like a urine test. And if, the Ativan wasn't in my system, I would have a problem. You know what I mean? So do they do that to make sure you're taking the Suboxone or no?
I do know I had a cousin who was taking Suboxone, and I do know that he had to be drug tested every time he went. And I don't know if they were specifically looking for Suboxone or if they were looking to see if there was anything else.
Yeah.
In his system, but he definitely was drug tested, and I know he got tossed. And I don't want to say for what, because he says one thing, and I don't think I believe him. But I know that you definitely should be getting drug tested. I think, yes.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. Because it's like you said, you could be getting the shit and selling it, whatever.
Yeah, and then you're hurting somebody else that could be, waiting to get into a doctor to get it, and
Yeah. Listen to this, bro. I wanted to tell you too. We got a lot of new people in here today. We got Chicago Born. We got Anthony H. Tony. Tony, we'll just say, or Todd. I'm sorry, Todd. My bad, Todd. I called you Tony, and I can't pronounce your last name. But yeah, there's some new people in here. This is good. And Anthony H said, FBS, I'd love to tell my story sometime. I'm a fan from the MobTube stuff. Well, thank you, Anthony. I'm always looking for people to tell their story. I would fucking love that. So if you can email me, it's fatballeditalian@gmail, not Sicilian. fatballeditalian@gmail.com. If you email me, we could set it up. That would be great because you have a lot of knowledge, obviously, from what you're saying in the chat. Christopher Capello said they used Librium to get me off of Xanax. It took 14 days. Really? Wow.
Xanax is another beast entirely. I've seen some people really go through hell trying to get off of the Xanax.
I told you, man, there was a guy in the rehab I was in that was there. It was either 3 or 6 months. And they had to basically teach him how to live life again. I mean, he was agoraphobic. He had a lot of issues, man. And he just basically, he was a war vet, and after, he left the military. He basically spent the next 20 years in bed because he had PTSD and stuff. And he was just taking these Xanax every fucking day, and 20 years, man, before he finally went to rehab. And the shit they had to go through to detox him. I mean, it took forever. It cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And there was another woman too, very, very wealthy woman, lived in, big ass fucking penthouse in some skyscraper in Manhattan, multi-millionaire. And she was the same type of deal, man. She was a shut-in, she was hooked on Xanax, and you couldn't even talk to her. She was like a zombie almost, trying to come off this shit. It's insane. People don't get it, man. Like that withdrawal, it's like alcohol withdrawal. It's the closest thing to it. It'll kill you. So and that shit takes, I mean, it's not like alcohol. You could be the most severe alcoholic in the world and detox within a week or two. But Xanax, I mean, you're talking about it could be 6 months, a year to fully detox you off that shit, depending on how long
Oh,
you've been
yeah.
taking it.
Yep.
Crazy.
Big time.
Todd,
It's tough. It's very tough, man.
oh yeah, it's scary, man. That's why I tell people, anybody I hear that's on that, get off that shit, man. Try ask them if anything, ask them to put you on a different benzo, Ativan, Klonopin, just not Xanax.
Yeah.
And none of them are good, but Xanax is the fucking devil, bro. I swear to God.
Yeah, real low dose, because you can't just stop that. If you just try stopping taking it and you're addicted. From what I understand, what I've been told from people that I know who were addicted, you go through every single withdrawal system every single withdrawal symptom
Yeah.
as like opiates or heroin.
Yep. Yeah, they could give you.
Plus,
Oh, go ahead.
plus you get like this whole mental mind fuck type of thing that happens too.
Yeah.
And that's it's rough. And like you said,
Yeah, you could
die from it.
Yeah, you could have a heart attack, you could have a stroke. Bro, I never got super addicted. Well, I was super addicted to Ativan and at the same type of deal as you. I went to jail and I kind of, went through the withdrawal. It was very mild for me, but because I kind of weaned myself off before I went in, but as much as I could anyway. But when I was, what was I going to say? Oh, when I was, when I first started taking benzos and shit, I would take like 2 milligram Xanny bars, and I would drink like a motherfucker and do coke and everything. Bro, I would be up for days. I'd be hallucinating. Like Xanax is the fucking worst, man. It's terrible.
Yeah. I've taken it, but luckily I never got to any type of point where it was an issue. Take it here and there, just to go to sleep, whatever it was. Never really to party. I was never like a party guy taking ecstasy. None of that type of stuff. And that's kind of why it was odd that this got me, caught up. Because like I said, never smoked weed, never did coke, wasn't into ecstasy, no shrooms, acid, none of that. So
it's pretty much the same thing with me. I mean, when I was a teenager, I tried acid a couple of times. I tried ecstasy once. I probably smoked weed, 7, 8 times my whole fucking life, but it was just cocaine. I never wanted dope. I never wanted crack. I never wanted, it was powder. I never wanted fucking benzos later on, like I said, but benzos to me were the same tool as alcohol. Like my thing, I have congestive heart failure now. Yesterday, I found out I had my echocardiogram. I found out my heart function has decreased. It's not good news. Definitely fucked my day up yesterday, but that's what happens when you live how I lived. My heart would get out of control. And my only goal every single day was to do as much cocaine as possible. So it got to the point where I wouldn't just drink to slow my heart down. I would take as many benzos as possible. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I used it. But other than that, I wasn't a person that was into drugs in general. You know what I mean? It was alcohol, cocaine. And then, like I said, I used the alcohol and benzos basically to help me do more cocaine. That's it. So,
yeah.
Joseph Montanaro said the doctor wanted me to be on it forever. I eventually got myself off. Hardest thing to do. Couldn't sleep right for years. I'm assuming he's talking about methadone. Todd said my doctor drug tested me every month, 2 years. I think he's saying every month for 2 years. Now I get a 3-month supply and only take drug tests 3 months now. I wonder if he's talking about Suboxone or methadone. That would have to be Suboxone, right?
I would assume.
Yeah.
I would think.
Let me see. Benzavania? Is that how it's pronounced? Like Pennsylvania. It's Benzavania. Is that how your last name is pronounced? Or is it Venga? Benzavenga. I don't know. Yeah, everybody go to nextdistro.org and get your Narcan or, Johnny Light's going to come to your house with a fucking baseball bat. Did you see that article in the paper, bro?
No.
I think it was in, I want to say the New York Post. It was a big thing about the guys from the Gambinos that got busted. And then it had a big thing with A-Light too about selling his baseball bats and shit. It's from like 3 days ago. Yeah.
I have to look it
You
up.
got to check
I
it
didn't
out.
see that.
Yeah, it's funny, bro. It's funny.
You said the Post?
I think it's the Post. You just Google what did I Google? It's let me see. Hold on. I'm going to look at the picture right now. Cuz he sent it to me. Let me see.
He sent it to you?
Yeah, he sent it to me the other night when I was live. Made to self promote. Oh, there's a big thing about Sammy, the podcasts, so you could put like John A-Light, ex Gambinos, something like that, New York Post, you'll find it. It's got Sammy. It's a little story about John, too, John Gotti. Yeah. I read it the other night, but my fucking memory. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Oh,
I got it. I found it.
You found it?
Yeah,
I'll
check it out.
The title of the whole article is As Gambinos Reemerge, Ex-Mobsters Reveal What Life is Like in and Out of Five Families Now. I think they talk a lot about the state of the mafia right now, So that's all right. It's a good article. Let's see what we got here. Anthony H said it's a miracle the obsessions have been lifted from my life. Well, that's great, Anthony H. I congratulate you, man, and I'm proud of you. That's great to know, man. I feel the same way. I have I have over 4 years clean and sober now, and I'm very happy about that and proud of it.
That's always a good thing, man.
Oh yeah. Todd says we read about wealthy celebrities dying all the time from drugs. Addiction don't care if you're rich or poor. No, absolutely not. Who do we?
Doesn't discriminate.
Who's the last one we lost? Matthew Perry?
Yeah, but did they say that was exactly with drugs, directly from drugs?
I thought it was alcohol. Let me see.
I know I read a couple, like, somewhat conflicting stories. So.
Let's see. It says here, more details about the day he died, according to Perry, found in a hot tub. Perry's stepfather, Keith Morrison, is listed as the informant on the certificate. What? Informant? Which means the Dateline host was the one who identified Perry to authorities. Oh, okay. They call that an informant? Jesus Christ. Perry's cause of death. Are they talking about his identified Perry? All right, whatever. Perry's cause of death is listed as pending investigation as the medical examiner's office awaits toxicology and lab results. The certificate further reveals that Perry was buried at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Los Angeles on November 3rd. I guess, I don't know, maybe it's not out yet. I thought it did. Well, I mean, I guess we're just assuming then, huh? Because of his past.
Yeah.
Well, we've lost a lot of people, man. Michael K. Williams, Prince. Yeah, I'm just in the last, I don't know, 10 years or so, tons. Jane Creek said, I totally saw myself getting addicted to Xanax. If I had kept messing with it, I naturally have an addictive personality and tend to abuse basically everything other than food. I hear you. I think I even abused food at one point.
It doesn't take much. I know people that are addicted or were addicted to nasal spray and Claritin. It's real easy to get addicted to damn near anything,
I heard about people being addicted to nasal spray. That's crazy.
Yeah, I knew a friend, a family friend, who for I think it was years. I don't want to say an exact number, but it was years, not like 2 or 3, more like 7 or 8 or 9, where every single day she was nasal spray, nasal spray, nasal spray, nasal spray. Constantly always using it.
I think that gives you a deviated septum just like Coke. Using the nasal spray like that. I think it does.
It might. Depending on the solution in there and stuff, it could eat away at it.
Yeah, I feel like I heard about somebody that happened to.
Yeah. Miss can't be wrong. I saw that you were talking about Sublocade. I've heard that because it's like a monthly shot, that some people will try to use even though they take the shot, which is not a good thing, because then they want to use more and more. It's supposed to be a blocker, I believe. It's like kind of a new medication. I don't know exactly how it works, but
is that like Vivitrol?
I think it's something similar to Vivitrol. Yeah, but it's got buprenorphine in it, which is the main ingredient in like Suboxone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be like a once a month thing, so that you don't have to take like a daily maintenance.
Mm-hmm. There's
a lot of things they have out there. I had a friend who went to get they insert this chip, and you're able to do it like once a year. It's I forgot the name of the medication that's in it, but essentially they do this rapid detox deal for you, where like within a week they try to they pump you with different fluids and try to get as much of the bad drugs off your opiate pain receptors and all that.
Yeah.
Try to clean them all off. And they give you this like little chip type. They insert it in you like it's like I don't know how they do it, but it's like inserted in you, and it's supposed to help with cravings and all of that.
Yeah. My beautiful wife, New Beginnings with Shanna, said that's more with Vivitrol. Sublocade, I guess it's called, is a little different.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know. She's not elaborating in the chat, but maybe she will. Yeah, I don't know.
So then maybe I might have had it confused. Maybe I was thinking more with Vivitrol than Sublocade.
Oh, yeah.
But I knew one of them definitely did. I thought it was Sublocade, though.
I'll be honest, this is the first time I ever heard of it. Sublocade. I haven't heard of that yet.
Yeah. It's new. I don't think it's like so new. I think it's been around for a while now, but maybe some years. But,
let me ask you something, bro.
It's supposed to be good. And if you're, serious about, getting clean, and it really helps with the cravings and everything, it'll be a good thing.
Yeah. What do you think? Let me ask you something, bro. Do you think that our government or pharmaceutical companies have any real intention or desire to help people with addiction, to really treat people for it?
Not at all.
No. None.
The government, if they start treating addiction, about 250,000 people will be out of a job.
Yep.
Minimum. DEA agents, narcotics, different narcotics task force, police, they won't need the same amount of. So many crimes committed are about either directly drug crimes or, committed for somebody to get drugs.
Yeah.
I have a friend who owns a pharmacy here in Connecticut. He got robbed last week. They jumped over the counter. They took coughs, scissor, as you know, the rappers say.
Yeah.
The heavy duty cough syrup. They took that, took some other miscellaneous pills. They grabbed a lot of shit. He didn't really get too much into everything that they grabbed, but so it's.
They were doing that, weren't they, years ago? Like in the 2000s, I think. Weren't they doing that in Boston? They were robbing pharmacies to the point where all the pharmacies put signs in the windows, "We do not carry oxycodone."
It was happening a lot of places. There was pharmacies where I live that were doing that. I know, like Stop and Shop's grocery store.
Yeah.
They always, we do not carry Oxycontin. You know.
Crazy.
So that they wouldn't get robbed, basically.
Yeah.
You know.
Wild. Fucking nuts, man. I always said, like, you know, if drugs were legalized completely, I don't think there's as much money in it for the government as there is, you know, with the prison system and the court system and all the other ways they make money off of addicts and shit. You know what I mean? There's more money in the addiction and if and in the street way of doing things, you know, like if they legalized it, like you said, crime would drop fucking substantially. You know what I mean? It would drop. It would be because, like you said, other than certain violent crimes and stuff, because many violent crimes happen because of people's addictions and because of drug dealing and the drug business in general.
Yeah, of course.
So many fucking crimes just crimes in general, whether it's fucking, you know, a property crime like theft or something, or it might be an armed robbery or fucking, you know, other than things like rape and stuff. I think you could attribute a lot of crimes, even murder in a lot of cases, to the drug business. So the fucking prison system would collapse and there's just too much money in it. There's too much money. It's more money than they would make off of the legalized drugs, I think.
Yeah.
Fucking nuts, man. Ain't that a bitch?
Agree.
You realize we have a fucking for-profit prison system in this country?
Yeah.
Those private prisons.
That's all it's about.
Those private prison companies are actually corporations, I should say, are actually publicly traded. You know what I mean? You could buy stock in fucking Corrections Corporation of America or the Geo Group, you know, and they have a profit incentive to feed each inmate the least food possible and to supply them with the least necessary, you know, supplies, you know, whether it be toilet paper, shit like that, just toiletries, every fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's unreal, man.
That's why they make you buy what you can buy.
Absolutely.
Dude, on top of it, they control that too.
I know. I love when people say, "Oh, our tax dollars are going to this, and that." People don't get shit in jail or prison. I got some fucking news for you. This myth that prisoners are just handed everything and they get to sit back and live a good life in prison, fuck out of here. You don't have shit in jail, prison, or any type of lockup, incarceration, unless you can buy it yourself. You don't have a fucking thing.
Nothing that you pretty much, for the most part, that you don't pay for a good amount.
Yeah, if you go to state prison in PA, I know at least in PA, you don't get a fucking TV, you don't get any of that. You don't get a radio. You got to buy all that shit. You know what I mean? Any extra food you want so you don't starve because they feed you just enough to keep you alive. You have to buy that through commissary. I mean, you got to have fucking money for everything. Everything.
That's 100%.
Yeah, without a doubt. I told you, man, when I was just the work release program alone in York County Prison, you pay $14 a day to be there. Okay. And then you get nothing. You get a sheet and a fucking blanket. They don't give you a pillow. They don't give you anything. They give you like a 2-inch thick fucking mattress. You got to roll up a shirt, use it as a fucking pillow. You're lucky if you got to take a shit and there's actually toilet paper, because they'll put out a few rolls a day and there's 250 guys in 2 dorms. You know what I mean? And all your toiletries, toothpaste, soap, any of that shit, if you don't buy it, you don't have it. They don't give you a fucking thing, bro. So all this shit, all my tax dollars, don't get mad at people in jail. Get mad at the system for locking people up for bullshit.
I think that when inside in the feds. I think the number that they like to say per inmate that it cost like a year
38 or something.
For one inmate to for them to house and feed and blah blah blah. I think the number was like just maybe 25,000 a year or something.
I thought it was like 38,000.
I'm going back almost 10 years, so
Yeah.
It could have been a little cheaper. It might be closer to that now.
Bullshit too.
It definitely could be closer to that now.
I'd love to see a breakdown of that. I want to see a breakdown where the fuck, even 25 grand, where that's going a year per inmate.
I couldn't tell you because I bought everything myself.
Yep. Yeah, that's how it is, man. Yeah, people who've never been to any type of jail or prison, they don't realize, that all that shit that, these people who bitch about their tax dollars, all that stuff they believe about jail and prison is not true. Most jails and prisons are filled with nonviolent offenders who do not belong behind fucking bars. And
I would say the biggest thing is probably the nonviolent drug offender.
Oh. Yeah.
In state, federal, whatever.
Local.
That's local. Anything.
60%, bro. It would the fucking prison population would decrease by 60%. Guarantee it.
Yeah, which is huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
New Beginnings with Shanna, my beautiful wife, says there was a county, they had a jail and a nursing home. The nursing home took care of anybody, whether you had money or not. The jail was a jail, so the county decided they wanted to sell something. What does she mean? Jail was a jail. I'm not sure what she means by that.
There's another comment right down. If you go scroll down a little.
Oh, they decided to sell the nursing home so that way somebody could buy it who didn't care about the people that were living in it, and they wouldn't get the care. Gotcha. Understood. And there was more money in the jail than there was in a nursing home. New Beginnings with Shanna, that was provided to them when it was a county nursing home. A county, I think she meant nursing home. They decided to keep the jail, get rid of the nursing home because the jail made the county so much profit yearly they couldn't lose it. Oh my God, yeah. There's a fucking Dateline or something episode about this York County prison here, where the prison had contracts with New York State and the federal government and all these different contracts they had for illegal immigrants. And York County Prison was housing them, and they were getting $63 per day per inmate. $63 per day per inmate. And when they lost, I told this story a million times. When after about 10 years of this, they made a fortune. They found out the warden, I think it was Tom Hogan, was embezzling a fuck ton of money off of this from the prison and shit. And they lost the contracts and everything. There was an article in the newspaper that they have to fill those beds in York County Prison now because the prison's losing money not having those beds filled. Right under it was an article that there's going to be roving DUI patrols in York County that weekend. So that's the answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going to they got to fill the beds. Okay, let's go get some people for DUI. It's so they don't even hide it. It's like we need these. It's like a hotel. The private prison industry, these private prisons have a contract with the government. Sometimes it's 70, sometimes 80% occupancy. They're guaranteed. Therefore, if 80% of that prison is not filled with inmates, say it's only 70% and the contract says 80, they still have to pay for those beds that aren't full. The federal government has to pay these fucking private prisons for those beds that aren't full. So they have incentives to pay off politicians and shit. So the politicians make the sentences even stiffer and put more bullshit laws out there to put people in jail for nonsense. It's crazy, bro. It's a fucking shame, man. They warehouse people. That's all it is. Listen, bro, I think I'm going to end the show, man. I want to thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate it very much. This was great. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. And congratulations on, I guess I could say, beating your addiction and being where you are today. Because I know you, I guess you could say personally at this point, you're doing pretty well in life.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, bro. Listen, like I said, I appreciate you coming on. I'm sure everybody in the chat does too. Maybe we could do it again, or you could just come on and hang out. And that's it. I'll call you later or something.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
All right, bro.
Later, everyone.
Yep. Peace.
Later.
All right. There you go. Tony Ducks. That's my friend right there. Let me see. 41K a year today. Todd, imagine on what? What is that going to? 41 fucking K a year. 41K a year? Get the fuck out of here. Per inmate, there's 2 million prisoners in America. Local, state, and federal. 2 million. More than any other country. What is it? We make up for, I think, 3% of the world's population or some shit. But we have 25% of the world's prisoners. It's something like that. Insane. Fucking insane. Sorry, the conversation veered off into that, but I like talking about that stuff. Doing prison time has convinced me 80% of people in prison belong there. I guess it depends on where you are, and it depends. I don't know what kind of prison you were in, what level. I would say, I mean, I don't know, but I know that a huge majority of the prison population in this country is nonviolent drug offenders. Nonviolent. So, these are mostly people with addictions. They need treatment. They don't need prison. So that's a shame. Danny Green, my man, what's up, bro? Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I want to thank Tony Ducks because he made this show today, not me. Chris Capello said, I would like to hear Anthony and Todd share. Me too. Guys, please email me fatbalditallion@gmail.com and I will get back to you ASAP. And we could work something out if you guys want to come on and share. It would be fantastic. Anybody, please. I need people to share like Tony Ducks did today and like John Alite did a couple of weeks ago. That's what I need. You guys have heard my stories. I've said everything I have to say, So I want to keep these shows going. I'm going to tell you guys something real quick. Somebody, an anonymous donor, sent me today by UPS a laptop, a new laptop, and some other equipment. And that person's main goal is to see these addiction and recovery shows keep going. You know what I'm saying? This is I'll tell you more about it later. An incredible gift, I'll say. And it's really a donation to these shows. So I want to make these shows as good as possible and do them as often as possible. Guys, if I have enough people to share 3 times a week, I'll do 3 shows a week. You have my word. If I have enough people to share 5 times a week, I'll do 5 shows a week. I got to do my other shows to make some money because I can't survive without it. But these shows are going to keep coming and they're going to get better and better, hopefully. And I just hope people start reaching out and, offering to share their story with everyone. I really hope so. Let me see what else we got here. Will you be live on Thanksgiving, FBS? I would say yes. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have any plans because it's like, we're going to be together with our family and stuff on Thanksgiving. So I don't know if I'll have anybody on with me. It might just be me. But yeah, I'll be on. I got to start coming on again, until I get another channel kicked off and rolling because I got to make money. I lost a fucking fortune. Just the last, 10 days, I probably lost $1,500 minimum. So I got to do regular shows. Much as I don't want to. All right. Thank you, Anthony H. That'd be great. FBS, I know this is an addiction and recovery show. Would you ever have the other side on? I was selling around my neighborhood in Boston. The regret and sickness that I feel these days is sick. You mean drug dealers? Is that what you mean? These shows are much better. They mean more to people who need a purpose. Yeah, I agree. And these shows mean a lot to me, you know? Sounds good, Sam the Man. I'll have something for you guys. Don't worry. But people like, Tony Ducks today, they make these shows really because, like I said, you've already heard my story. I think the last show with John A. Light was incredible. He shared that show on his social media and stuff. It's an addiction recovery show, so it didn't get the type of views that just an interview with John A. Light would have gotten. But I don't care about views. You know what I'm saying? I don't. But I'll tell you what, it gained views every day for quite some time after I did it. And usually these shows do not. They stop at a certain number, and I think it's still gaining them little by little. But it was a magnificent fucking show. If you haven't seen it, go check out the John A. Light show from a couple of weeks ago, Addiction and Recovery. It was really, really nice. It was the story of his daughter, Chelsea. And I hope it really helped some people. And so does John. John got a hold of me a couple of times since. I'm telling you the truth. And John A. Light asked me a couple of times, do you think we helped some people? And I said, I guarantee we did. So he's very happy about that. Very, very happy about that. So I'll be on before that too, Sam the Man. I'm sure I'll be on tomorrow and shit. What were you talking about, Danny Green, exactly? Talking about drug dealers? I'm just saying that because you said you were selling around the neighborhood and you have regrets. What, people, Chris Capella? We were up to, if you're talking about this, we were up to 96. Like sharing how I was poisoning my community, the feeling and regret I have is up there with the sickness and regret that the users. Oh, bro, Danny Green, abso-fucking-lutely, bro. Yes. I told you I have regrets about that myself. I'll gladly talk to you about it, on a show, without a doubt. Please let me know when you want to come on. By the way, Danny Green, I got to get back to you in your email. I'm just going to give you my number, bro. Fuck that email shit. You were in the 90s for a good bit before I said hello or anything, FBS. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we were, man. It's up, it's Tony Ducks gets the credit. No one show can be done without saying FBS this, FBS that, shaking my head. You are a mob tube. I know, Sam the Man. And let me tell you something. I don't want to be. Whoever wants it, just let me know. You can have it. Okay. And I just want to be just another regular YouTuber. That's it. I don't want to be the king of shit. I don't want anything to be mine or belong to me. I just want to do my shit, whatever it is I'm doing, and live my life. That's it. We love having you, Michael. All right, guys. I think I'm out of here. I appreciate you very much, Tony Ducks. Thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing. It means the world to me, and I'm sure it did to our chat too. You kept a lot of people watching, man. So thank you for that. And maybe your story will help people as well. That's it, guys. Listen. Hold on. Oh, I got you. I got you, Ducks. Wow, that never even occurred to me. Jesus. The show you had with A-Light was one of the best shows you ever had. I agree, Philly Bob, and thank you for the compliment. Yes, absolutely. And again, that's owed to John. All right, guys. Write these numbers down. National Addiction Hotline, Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Keep them in your pocket, your purse, your man bag, your fucking wallet, your fanny pack, and the brim of your hat. If you're a kangaroo, put them in your pouch, whatever. Keep them close by in case you ever need them, or just memorize them. That ain't that hard, especially the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's 988. How can you forget that? And stay strong on your journey to recovery, And everybody be proud of yourselves for whatever clean time you have. All right, guys. Oh, thank you, Danny Green. Yes, I love it. I love that fucking picture. As soon as I saw that, I was like, that's the one I'm ordering. All right, guys. I love you all. And until next time, salute.